Alright, I have reached in-game, and this is my in-game build. I'm gonna talk and fight the Formed real quick, and then I am going to run a few maps. But before I can do that, I need my endurance charges. It is too weak here. So I need to watch this bad boy charge. Look at it charging. Give me them endurance charges because I do not have enough resistances without my handy dandy endurance charges. I'm gonna fine tune this a little, but I'm not quite done rolling my rings. I got some rings that I can improve quite a bit. That guy and that guy. But until I improve those, I kind of gotta pump it up. Alright, that should be good enough. That should be good enough. Now let's put my crazy flask on right now. Now these flasks, I am going to put them in order. We have a fire, which is going to give me, lightning, which is going to give me lightning and maximum lightning resistances. We have a cold, which is going to do the same for that, and a fire. So my resistances are all going to have +5 to maximum resistances and get a bunch of bonuses. This one's going to convert my fizz to lightning, which is the big part of that one, which is excellent because I have a lot of elemental damage and I don't have a lot of fizz damage. This one right here is going to make some of my physical damage be converted as cold, which is not that important, with 15 endurance charges, which I did lose by talking. Dying Sun gives me more projectiles. Progenesis, the star of the show, this bad boy keeps me alive and gives me chaos resistance. I'll go into this mix without any endurance charges and just see how it goes. I was able to cry right at the beginning and get 5. I'm going to be a little cautious until I can get more endurance charges, and then I'm just going to stand my ground. Alright, full endurance charges. I'm just going to stand my ground. I should have put barrage on, but as you can see, not really needed. I don't even need to move. I'm just going to stand still and wreck face, because that's what this build does. It stands still and it wrecks face. Let's put my music on a little. I can move if I want to. I don't have to stand still. And that was easy. That was real easy. Now let's take a look. I'm going to start with my Atlas passive, just to show how these maps are going to go. I have thorough exploration and destructive play. This is to make the bosses harder because I have so much damage. Otherwise, the bosses, sometimes you don't even see. Now, I'm not always going to remember about thorough exploration. I'm guessing about 50% of the time, I'm either going to forget or I get to the boss and there's still 50 monsters remaining and I don't want to backtrack. I have some delirium, which is going to give me more pack size. I have breach because it's really good for this build, and I have some legion because I still need to do my 5-way. Everything is going to be pumped up by this bad boy, primarily for the movement speed and the damage, but the all resist is nice as well. And that is the Atlas passive. So the maps I run are all going to be pretty juicy for the bosses. Let's do a regular map. And then we will talk about the build after I do a regular map. Let's turn this just a hair for you guys. Oh, cannot regenerate life, and I think it really just monster steal power and endurance charges. Look, wait, I almost ran that, and I can't regenerate life. That's wild. I have this bad boy, which gives me 75 life regeneration per endurance charge, and I have 14. Yes, 14. It's not the max. I'm pretty sure the max is 15. I'd be using the belt. It gives me +1 frenzy charges, but that turns my frenzy charges into affliction charges, I think they're called. And those are really bad. I mean, they're okay because you can get some pretty good damage with dot. I don't really like dot that much. and you lose everything else you get with frenzy charges, like the attack speed, which is very nice. One could even say that the frenzy charges would do so much more damage in general, because you get the attack speed, which is also good for most dot builds. Yeah, this build, it's tanky, pretty fast, the damage is great, but you know what it isn't efficient on? Cost. Each one of those +1 to frenzy rings costed me 40 divines. The bow, 30 divines. The Progenesis, I think, was 69, if I remember correctly, 69 divine. And because I think I said nice when I bought it, because that's what you have to do, and it's priced at 69 divine. The Jewel, it gives me +1 frenzy charges, but I'm only allowed to use the Grace Aura, was 10 divine, I believe. Way more expensive than I remember it ever being. That body armor drops so much. What else do I have that was expensive? I don't really know what else I have. I do want to collect that. I think that's the one that pumps it up. I just have so many of these. I'm going to be running the maps pretty slow and trying to kill all the enemies. I really do hate backtracking. But if it can go much faster, maybe I'll run one with speed and not pick up any shrines, unless they're movement speed shrines, and just kind of blast through it. And when I say fast, I mean fast for me. I can't go much quicker than this, or else to get sick. So this is a really good speed limit. Let's take a look at these defenses. I mean, those are pretty good defenses. 90 physical damage reduction. And that's better than you get with armor, because I'm getting them from endurance charges. That includes things like bleed. It is just straight up fizz reduction. So that means I don't need to account for corrupting fever, corrupting blood, or bleed, because I can kind of survive those, if I'm being honest. I'm being real honest, I can kind of survive those, which saves a lot of room to do other things, and get other things. Man, why are they always dropping these divines? I got so many, I don't even know what to do with them. I ain't got the time to make more builds. They just keep giving me more and more divines. I have to start like a divine charity. These broke bastards out there or something. Why am I chasing her? And I have to move when I fight her because she blows up the ground. And ain't nothing you can do about DD. DD gonna get everyone. DD gonna get everyone. No one's safe. There's only 4 monsters left, which sucks because I can't get frenzy charges. Look at that look at them lag spikes. I knew I was feeling that lag. I am hyper. Go get my frenzy charges. Hyper in tuned with my latency. Me and my latency, we're just like one and the same. Oh, that's it, really? I love the loot blockers. What the hell? She was like on something that was giving her life, or she was preventing my damage, or she felt bad for me, so she let me kill her. The last time I fought her, when I died, I wasn't really doing any damage, and I just walked in there and kind of one-shot her face. Maybe the wisp went away? I don't know. Alright, let us talk about the build. I don't know where I'm going to store these. I'll store these here. I need to clean out this tab. Let us rant and rave about the monstrosity that I have created. Alright, this build would have been completely different. Because I crafted this bow, which is a pretty good craft. Not a great craft, but it is pretty good. I hit it with a physical essence, and I hit the physical and accuracy with the divine. Obviously, I crafted the physical. It came with attack speed, critical multi, and critical strike. However, because this is the cheating and busted crafting league, I was able to buy this bad boy for 30 divines. I don't know how this is 30 divines. This bow is nutty. It's probably 30 divines because these are probably not that hard to make. And I saw some other ones that not only had +1 to frenzy charges on the top, they also had crit multi, which would add a ton of damage. But this bow, tier 1 lightning cold fire, attack speed, critical multi, critical strike on a spiny bow. Is very nice. +1 to increase attack speed per 8% quality. And it has 24 quality. Look at that. Someone planned that out perfectly. Now, let's take a look at my helmet. My helmet is giving me life regeneration rate. That is the most important part of the helmet. Everything else on it is really nice. I also need the strength, which is good, but I could get the strength otherwise. But that life regeneration rate is huge when combined with the amount of life I'm getting from my endurance charges. That life regeneration rate adds a ton of sustainability, and this build is all about sustainability. I am using Replica Badge of the Brotherhood. This makes my endurance charges equal to my frenzy charges. Everything else I am really not using. I was using the fortification. It's a little awkward because it steals endurance charges, so it'd be nice to use on like a jug or something, but jugs get endurance charges anyways. The only thing I'm using this for is to give me 14 endurance charges. So this amulet essentially says, this makes you unkillable. So when you read the amulet, you could just read it as, this amulet give defense. And that's all it does. I have the links allocated simply because it is a part of my little circle here, and it has 20% elemental damage on it. So that is what is allocated in there. I have my Restless Ward, which has the 4% physical damage reduction while stationary, and I am a stationary build. I hold still, and I shoot. +1 to the socketed gems. In my socketed gems, we are looking at your basic frenzy. It's not even a level 21. I can go buy a level 21, but I'm too lazy. We have returning projectiles, which I don't really love, because I don't have phasing, so it's kind of hard to get right onto the enemy. I should do something about my phasing, but either way, it's nice. It adds more arrows, right? Spreads across the street. Hypothermia, 30% more cold damage, 40% chance to freeze enemies which are chilled. Ice Bite support. Now the important part about this one is the 19 to 28 cold damage per frenzy charge. I don't know if I've mentioned yet, but I have 14 of those. That is a lot of added cold damage. Everything else, not so great. The 2% increased damage per frenzy charge, pretty nice. 15% chance to freeze, also kind of nice. But everything else is not that important. Some standard crit multi. I could throw Trinity in there, and most of the time Trinity is up. But sometimes Trinity drops from, I believe, fire damage. Whatever is on the bottom. And I don't know exactly how Trinity works. I don't know if you need 2 going or if you need all 3 and have the triangle in the middle. Either way. Endurance charge on melee stun support. I don't think this should work for Frenzy with bows. This doesn't seem to work with spells. It doesn't seem to work with, I guess it's got an attack tab. I swear it didn't work with a couple other things that I thought it would work with, and it didn't. But it works. And 4% more damage per endurance charge. If I count my endurance charges on my hand, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That is a lot of endurance charges and a lot of damage. That is a very strong node. Now the only thing that I might adjust with this, I'm not going to try to recolor it because I really like having the blue and the red for all the other builds I'm going to be doing in the future. But if I were to recolor it, I'd probably get rid of the blue and add 1 more green for either greater multiple projectiles or barrage. Barrage would be really nice in there, and so would be greater multiple projectiles. Either one would work, but when I fight a boss, I will probably drop hypothermia and put barrage on. So that is my 6 link. My bow, it has a dash and a second wind on there, just for some zoomy, bouncy, bouncy. Has monoforged arrows, greater multiple projectiles, ensnaring arrow, and life tap, so it can always cast. My glove slot, I'm using Surge Binders. This has 7% increased elemental damage per frenzy charge and 7% increased physical damage per endurance charge. Now, the physical damage is pretty nice because of this flask, which converts 50% of my fizz to lightning. I don't have a lot of physical damage, but I do have some physical damage. And these damage numbers ramp way up. And for those physical ones, it is getting double dipped on that shit. And it has +1 to frenzy charges. Pretty nice gloves. Can't ask for too much better. Now this belt is kind of the rock star of the show. It's really hard to gear up with the amount of uniques I have. It's really hard to do all that stuff. And this is keeping all of my flask up. All of these are utility. They're getting free 3 charges every 3 seconds. And I am pairing that with this, which is also giving 4 charges per empty slot every 5 seconds. So I'm generating a lot of flask charges. And if you saw in my thing here, I am loaded up with flask tats. Give 4% increased duration. I'm also loaded up with tats that do 2% to spell suppression. To get my spell suppression, Rapidity at 100. Now, let's move on to the boots. Nothing special. Everyone is familiar with these boots. Almost a perfect lightning resistance roll and 9% spell sussy. Everyone needs that spell sussy. Let's take a look at my quiver. Arrows pierce an additional target. Important because I don't really have a lot of sources of pierce. That might be my only one. I think all my bows only pierce twice. So, you know, it's nice to have a little bit of pierce. The rings are my weakest link. I bought these for 40 divine a pop, and I have been rolling them trying to get excellent rolls, and these are the best I've been able to achieve. They're not that bad. I need this for the int, right? I take that off, and the int is a problem. So I need the int, rarity of items. I don't usually prefer that, but it's not a dead stat. I think that's a high roll. 19%, what are we looking at? Yeah, that's a tier 2. Oh, bottom of tier 2, so essentially tier 3. Not that high. Fire res, trash. Chaos resistance, excellent. In fact, I think that's the main reason I kept it, is I needed the chaos. I've been going to the beastcraft and hitting these with chaos. And I have a lot of beefcraft. I have a lot of beef. Got a lot of beef to reroll these bad boys. And the 37% to elemental damage with attacks is quite nice. So that's not that terrible of a rolled ring. I would consider this a mid-game, just get into red maps rolled ring. So it's not an in-game ring. I need to work on this. I also need to work on this one. This one I think is a little better. We got energy shield, which is important because I have a very low energy shield pool, and energy shield actually works quite well in this build. So energy shield is a stat I want. I just wanted it tier 1. I also don't mind the mana and the life. Those aren't that bad. Obviously, if I can get some type of a damage modifier on there, either physical or lightning, something like that, would also be pretty nice. Crit would be good as well, crit multi, but I don't remember if that's a prefix or a sus. It's got the chaos, it's got the cold, it's got the all res on the bottom. Now those suffixes are really nice. Could be higher rolled, but it's all the suffixes that I want, especially the all to elemental resistances. That one's my favorite. And that is the gear. I guess we didn't talk about what's on the quiver. I just talked about piercing and then ran away. Attack speed, life, lightning resistance. Added cold per frenzy charge, which is juicy because I think I have 4 frenzy charges, which is a lot. And then increase elemental damage with attacks. Let me see if there's something else I could put on there that would be radical dadical. Elemental damage with attacks is nice, but I really don't need that much more damage. Armor and evasion, some life. Yeah, we'll just leave that. It doesn't have anything magical. Oh no, why can't I equip it? Do I need Dex? I need Dex. That's just rude. Too many tattoos. You got Dex on you? Not enough. don't think I have an Astramentus. I don't think I have an Astramentus. You got Dex on ya? You got Dex on ya. You got some Dex on ya. If you're gonna go full damage mode and you don't want to use the endurance charges, this is a great amulet to use. It really is. Alright, alright, alright. Let's go through this bad boy, how I have built it. Started here with the Swift Killer. This is the key to the build. 200% increase charge duration plus 2 to frenzy charges means the world to this build. Then we move on to Polymath, which we're getting pretty good benefits of. Then one step ahead so we don't get frozen, and we are Zoomy. Heartstopper, because we're forced to take it, because everything else is, this is just, I hate this one so much. Maybe if I got a different helmet it might be better, but Heartstopper is what we got by default. We got some 20% chance to avoid being stunned. This is only to prevent me from getting stun locked in certain scenarios. Now you might ask, with all that evasion, how do you get stun locked? And the answer is excursions. You throw the big bomb, some of those mods are, you cannot avoid this hit. So you get hit with all the stuff and you get stun locked. This is just to prevent stun lock. Flash duration and spell suppression are going to be everything else I have there. This guy is how I'm getting ailment immunity. We're pairing this with this. Pretty nicely rolled. I think this was also like 3 divines, so a bit pricey. Very good deal for 3 divines though. And this guy, plus 10 to spell suppression and 20% chance to avoid elemental ailments. That puts me at exactly 110. I only need to be 100, but you know, might as well have that little bonus. Nothing else special really until we get to here. Hits have a 25% chance to treat enemy monster elemental resistance values as inverted. This, I think, is mandatory for an all-around mapper, because there's a lot of mods you can get on enemies if you're doing blue buff or red buff that pump up their resistances, and some of the map mods also say plus 45 to all elemental resistances. That's going to make the map run significantly slower, but if you have this node here selected, that plus resistances is actually very largely negated by the fact that it goes into the negative 25% of the time. Very nice node, and it's the only reason I pathed down here, aside from the fact that this attack damage penetrates 10% of elemental resistances, also has 20% elemental damage on there. Let's take a look at what I get from my Brutal Restraint. We get 20% elemental damage, 20% elemental damage, 20% elemental damage. Global accuracy doesn't sound that great, really is. 5% chance to blind, absolutely beautiful. We have a chance to blind. 20% elemental damage, 4% life, and we don't really need to pay attention to these ones. 20% chance to avoid being stunned, normally a kind of a dead stat, but in this instance it does help me from getting stun locked. And 20% increased damage with poison. Can't use yet, but I have plans for the future, my guys. Plans for the future to incorporate that. That means that I have used and benefited from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if I were to go to here to get chaining for poison, 11. I don't think I've ever had a Brutal Restraint that I have been able to use so effectively. 5% chance to gain Frenzy Charge on kill is also nice, but not needed. We have a couple of dead nodes. Movement speed, sometimes I get this node here for this 40% physical to cold, and 4% movement speed. It's not so bad. 5% movement speed. Alchemist Genius is also really nice. I kind of want to go grab that just because Alchemist Genius is going to give me flash charges, and the flash charges are very important for this build. Going up here, additional bows fire and additional arrow, bows fire and additional arrow. Oh, dang, I get this one too. 10% increased duration of elemental ailments on enemies. That is also beneficial. It's going to keep my big shocks big. I'm using this cluster jewel with plus 3 to all attributes, giving me widespread destruction. Now, only reason I chose widespread destruction when I was rolling this is for the war cry. It makes my war cry a little bigger, and I like a big war cry, real thick. This guy, Sadist, that is a lot of damage. That is 60%, if I think I can see the math correctly in my eyeballs, and I can. 60% increase elemental damage. I am using nature's patience to hold still, grit your teeth, and take it. And then Prismatic Heart. This guy here, 10% of leech is instant, is really strong, but I don't really have a good way to apply it. If I can get rid of this one, which is 8% increased armor per endurance charge, which isn't great because I don't have jack for armor, right? That doesn't really do anything, but 8% increased evasion rating per frenzy charge. And one of these times I'm just gonna switch it right over here, convert all of my armor, all my dex to armor, and it's gonna be great. But I can't use determination, so that's kind of pointless. I think I am going to refund it. Now with this, there's a lot of other good nodes you can get here. On here, the very bottom one, immunity to poison and bleed, really excellent. It would give me bleed immunity. I don't really need that, so I don't think I'm gonna select that. Now this is 5 points. I can actually just path out of all of this. I don't really need the life, but I kind of like the resistances and the evasion and armor, so I'm gonna keep it there. And with my 1 point, I don't know where I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna apply it to, but it might as well be the 10% of damage is instant. This helps not so much with the life, which it does help with the life, but it helps with the mana. The mana hits and it don't quits. And this costs 20 mana per cast. I have 56 mana and I cast very, very quickly. Alright, is there any other tech that I did not mention? This guy is ultra powerful, 3% increased damage per endurance, frenzy, and power charge. And I don't know if I've mentioned this, I have 14 of those twice. So I'm going to be at 31 charges total. So that's going to be 90 something % increased damage. Is this guy any good? Oh, this is the Sublime Vision. Max rolled, 40% increased effect. +1 to maximum frenzy charges while affected by grace. Auras other than grace are disabled. Just like me. Okay. I think I have covered everything in this zone. And I'm using Assassin's Mark. You might think, why are you using Assassin's Mark instead of the other one, Sniper's Mark? And the simple answer is I want to, and I don't want to re-roll the color of my gloves. The more complex answer is eventually I'm probably going to want to try to get into these flask nodes here, which gives me in here 25% chance to gain a flash charge when you deal a critical strike, which will help keep these up at all times. Primarily the Dying Sun. The Dying Sun dies too quickly, hence the name. Everything else is kind of pumped up and juiced up pretty well. Like this guy, he really not off that often. He there you go, couple seconds, and when I'm mapping and I'm killing, it's pretty good. Bossing, that might cause a couple of deaths, but I think on the up and up, on the whole, it's not gonna cause that many deaths. And if it does, you know what I can do? I can pop out one of these potions, and it is going to sustain itself. So I already have sustain levels. Another thing I can do, I want to wait for it to pop, there you go, so I didn't look like an idiot. Another thing I can do is get one of these rings with a dex strength roll, or a dex int roll. Like this one, instead of int, if it had dex int. Then I have a few dex nodes, I think, that I can turn. I have one dex node here, and one dex node there, that I can turn into flask effect. 4% increased flask duration, I mean. And that duration, an extra 8%, might push this close to being sustainable with 4 flasks. And I believe that is it. It's going to be a stationary build that is thick and juicy. Let us try a tier 17. This will be My first attempt at a tier 17. I haven't run any of these maps at all. This will be a first. Modifiable only with Chaos Orbs. 20 to maximum all resistances. That's rough. Monster physical damage reduction, Chaos resistance, elemental resistance, less totems, action speed. Okay, that's not going to matter for me, I don't think. Rare and unique. Monsters remove 10% of life and mana and energy shield on hit. I think I can do it. I think I can do it. Rarity, quant, experience. Let's throw some of this shit on there. Drop us some tattoos. Wait, is this going to work with my... It might. It might work with it. I gotta refund that. I don't want them all wisped up on my first go, you know what I mean? I don't want them all wisped up. Oh, it took them off. I just wasted my life, I wasted your guys' life. Everyone's life just got wasted a little bit. Keep that going? I think I do. I think this build's good enough that I can keep that going. Of course, I'm very early on with only 5 endurance charges, but they'll build. As I kill, as I still, as I do anything but chill. Superior. I'm not even gonna pick that up. Ooh, ouch. Ouchie. Do you want an ouchie? You got frozen midair, you fucking dude. Refuse to touch that trash. Okay, this is a new map. I didn't realize there were going to be new maps. I don't pay too close attention to their demos. I mostly just focus on the patch notes. Didn't know it was new maps. I mean, I guess I'll pick these up. I do like gem cutters. Gem cutters remind me of wrist cutters. No, it's my favorite. I'm gonna turn my tunes up just a hair. Going for a chill night. Feel real tired. Stayed up real late playing POE, and then I had to wake up real early to go to work. It's been like that vicious cycle for the past few days. Still wearing on this old man's body. Yeah, give me that bonus. It's gonna be great for the negative 20 to all resistances. Ooh, this guy's got some beef. Why am I not generating mana? Is that what Soul Eater does? Okay, fuck you, dude. Fucking leave. Goddamn wiener. You smelly, thick little chode. Cute little froggies. Cute little froggies. Oh yeah, I didn't want to fight that guy. He was rude. You can't be rude people and telling me what's good, because they don't know what's good. That Herald of Ice. popping. That's why that Grace node is all upside, because you can use Herald of Ice, or Purity, or Agony, because Heralds are not auras. I mean, if we're being honest, they are auras, but the game doesn't want to classify them. You know, I'm not going to classify them. I'm not going to tell these gems what gender they are. Well, that's a hot button issue. I'll leave that for someone else. Fucking boy. Thinks he can fight me. Hell yeah, I'm gonna enter this incursion. It's gonna be great. Got that point blank, so I like to get real close and intimate with people. I like that double dash because I have this thing that keeps me from moving. Not keeps me from moving. Yeah, the vines. I don't know why I say keeps me from moving instead of moves me slowly. And it feels kind of nice to be all vined up and then double dash on out of it. Like right now I'm all vined up and dash dash and I'm all out. Kind of nice. I'm an idiot like that. Aesthetics and like feel of the build and the play style is pretty important to me. I just like to listen to tunes or watch some One Piece or something while I play this game. So while I'm playing it, I definitely want it to feel good. I want to enjoy the build I'm playing. Which is why I can't really do traps from. I haven't tried mines, but traps just don't feel that good for me to play. So I don't really think I'll ever build some traps, and usually bow builds don't feel that good because they're always so squish when I've made them in the past. But this bow build is not squishy in the slightest. And the fact that, you know, attack speed is so high and it's got green arrows. You know you love them green arrows. You know what I'm talking about. Blonde with the glasses and green arrow. You guys know what I'm saying. You guys don't deny it. You know what I'm talking about. Because this is where some extra penetration would be nice. Normally that's not too much of a problem for me, but recently, you know, with this build, it's been a bit of a problem getting that pin on. And I'm talking about a double pin. We got penetration from arrows. They pierce another target. And I guess that's not penetration, that's piercing, but they're synonymous with each other. But you also have penetration as an elemental, and I'm pretty low on both. Shot. Do I look like a guy who's ever going to play Tornado Shot? As I play my very similar Tornado Shot build. I'm breezing through this 217. This ain't aspirational content. This is just content. This map is weird. Got double dash. Dash dash. And I got a lot of cooldown on it from the replica badge of the Brotherhood. It's not great for bosses because you use the double dash in, and a lot of times you dash out of one danger into another. Kind of like when you got to get that new chick after you lost your old chick, and she's usually pretty Uggs. And you're dangerous. That's something I was always really good at for being so small, is rebounding. Basketball. I She got a triple-double once. One of them was rebounding at 5'7". Of course, this is high school in a shit town. 2A school, 30 people in the class. So there's nothing to brag about. But if I were to say there's one thing I'm proud about in my basketball career, it would be the 11 rebounds in one game at 5'7". Wasn't a very good player, but very athletic and in shape, so I would say try-hard. And if you're try-hard, you can get a lot of rebounds. You out-effort the other players. Rebounds will come bountifully. Yeah, that's probably the one thing that COVID killed that I missed the most. I was in a basketball league. A couple of college players from UW. And it got canceled for COVID. And so never got back up. So I haven't played basketball in like, what's that, 4 years now because of COVID? 5 years? What are you gonna do? Do I need to? Oh damn, those did hurt. I do need to worry about you, don't I? You're a bit of a freak. But you're weak. You're a weak freak. What are you doing now? Oh shit. You think I don't got movement speed? Oh, you're a bit vulnerable. That's always fun for bosses. Oh, you're still invulnerable. What are you doing? Oh shit, this ain't no Inception. Oh, I walked right into that. And I didn't drop a town port. I am definitely gonna want to bring that guy along. Oh, I did drop that TP. Let's put this on. Take everything off. And let's build some endurance. There's that other flask I could probably use. That gives me all of them for frenzy, endurance, and power, which is probably a better idea. And maybe we just put both in here. Wish I had my rucksack. I probably ought to change one of the resistances here on the cold, but I think the taste of hate is up a lot. Yeah, 9.6 seconds. That taste of hate's gonna be up pretty frequently. I'll do one more charge. 8 should be fine. There we go. Let's move these back on over. Move them back on over. Let's go introduce ourselves. Why didn't my dash go off? There's like a delay in my dash. I wonder if it has a delay because of the double dash. So I was holding the thumb down when I died. Where am I going? Oh yeah, I want to get that other flask. I'm gonna have to pump it to 10. Why aren't they pumping up? Don't you know, pump it up. You gotta pump it up. We should have had 3 endurance charges. I just found this on the ground, so I didn't buy it. Probably ought to put Barrage on. If I die again. And by if, I mean when. If I die again, I'll get Barrage and replace that with Hypothermia. Replace Hypothermia with that. Alright, 12 is good enough. No reason to go all the way to 14. We don't want to get greedy here. We want our war cries to do something. That double dash almost got me. Fuck. I should have been able to see that a mile away. Alright, Barrage. Should have been able to see that from a mile away. Gotta love a map that keeps its damage going when you're phasing. Barrage. Oh, I think I'm leveling it. Yeah. This is inconvenient, but this is only a T17 thing. Don't really have this issue on any other content. Of course, I haven't tried any of the Ubers, except for Uber Elder, but he doesn't really count anymore. He's more just a regular boss. Killed Uber Elder for the first time just before recording this. Probably pin that video at the very end, maybe. If I'm not too lazy. Or I can just do it on its own. The boots would probably be better. I might as well just buy some. I don't know if they're still expensive. Oh no, this is where my auras are. The last thing I want to do is recast my auras. Damn it. Those were way too fast. This game likes to really force you to focus on multiple things at once. That's hard for my fucking dumb old ass. I guess practice, and I'm way too fast. Looks like I got lucky on that one. Holy shit. I'm playing like shit, but it don't matter. I'm tanky as fuck. Oh, whatever those hands are. Whatever those hands are, got handy. Now we gotta do the flask count again. You guys are excited for that. God, I fucked that up, didn't I? Just stood in the hands. I think that's kind of the point of the build. This is just standing damage and kind of be cool about it. It's such a good song. This game is also such a great game. The premier Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Everything in the game was perfect. It is a 10 out of 10 when it was released, and it is still a 10 out of 10 today. No game has surpassed it. Some could argue that games have matched it. Hollow Knight, maybe. I didn't like Hollow Knight that much, but I didn't give it an honest go. Oh, it just felt weird distance of the sword was way too short. And I was like, this doesn't feel right. The combat feels janky. And I didn't realize you get upgrades and that you can increase the length of your sword, which would have made it feel much better while playing the game. But I didn't know that. I was just like, I'm not having fun. I'm exiting the game. That's typically my barometer. If it ain't fun, why the fuck would I play it? And it wasn't fun. I hear it gets fun, but I want my games fun from the start. Bloodstain was made by the same guy, and it is in no way better. Fucking, oh shit. That's how you unlock a 5-way. I don't even need to do the other thing. Really? This is the drop? Oh, I guess it's probably just an extra drop. This is the drop. What are we pricing this at? Oh, I don't know. Cleared that shit. I had so many maps left over. I'm gonna run with greater multiple. I mean, I don't really need the extra damage that much. So we'll keep hypothermia. We'll put hypothermia here. Why not? Actually, we're gonna want something there to make it all big like, so we'll just do that. Well, they even got a space for him. Let's see. I don't want to do the other tier 17s right now. I did one. It was kind of exhausting, a little tired. So we'll do a Drox's. That should be fine. Hexproof is a little awkward, but that's fine. Yeah, look at that spread. Got good spread. Yeah, good hay while eating cornbread. That's what she said. She was my sister, cause I'm inbred. That's just what they say. Get good head. That's what I said. Off to play, Droxy. content here because obviously people subscribe to me for POE, and then I'm like, oh, she's only gonna watch that video, and then the algorithm can be like, hey, a bunch of your videos suck ass and nobody watches them. We're gonna derank you. I'm not saying that that's why my channel's small. That's all because my content's bad. The honest truth is still the best policy. Don't listen anywhere else. The reason, if you're a YouTuber, and the reason you're not doing well, is because your content sucks. There's no if and ors about it. Anyone who says otherwise is producing some pretty shitty content. If you're good at what you do, Dreamcore, a good example of that. He's pretty new on the scene, and he is probably the best at what he does in terms of demoing his items. Don't think there's anyone better than Dreamcore, and he's blown up because his content is ripped to shit. And that's all you need to do. That's all you need to know. Now, on to StellarBlade. I'm not going to talk about the sexy woman controversy. I'm going to talk about the praise that it's getting and its comparisons to Nier Automata. Nier Automata is probably my favorite game of all time, and that's saying something. It overturned Final Fantasy VII for my favorite RPG, and it might be my favorite game of all time just because it woves so many things I'm interested in all into one. But what's brilliant about Nier Automata, and Yoko Taro, the director of the game, will never admit this, 2B's character was extremely hot and extremely sexy as a subversion of your expectations for the dark and depressing and bleak world that you are existing in. So the game starts out and you're playing 2B. Oh, big spoilers for Nier Automata if you have not played it, but I did say it was one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game, so turn this YouTube channel off and go play Nier Automata. And for those of you who have already played it, let's talk about it. The game starts out with 2B looking pretty. She's kind of a mindless robot killer. She's like, robots have no feelings. I kill robots. I'm a hunter. This what I do. I'm a bad boo. And you play through her, and you're like, okay, yeah, this is a dumbass action game. Action combat's not that great. It's fast, it's fluid, but it's also pretty boring. And when you're playing 2B, unless you're playing on the insane difficulty where you die in one hit, it's also a little bit easy and very easy to cheesy the game. So the combat is not why people like Nier Automata. Now, people who've never played Nier Automata, they might like Nier Automata for the 2B cosplay, and 2B is a hot character. That is not a reason to like a game. That is not a reason to like a game at all. 0%. Then the game continues, and then you play as Nines, or 9S, a little simp booty short boy, after the fact, and he's a scanner type. 2B is a fighter type, he's a scanner type, so he's smarter, he's got more advanced tech, but he doesn't fight so good, so he often gets paired up with people like 2B to protect him. But as a scanner type, he's a little too smart for his britches, and he has a hacking ability, so he can hack into robots. He's able to see and feel that robots are not just uncaring, unkind characters. They're actually living beings, just like he is. In fact, they even share the exact same core, which is supposed to be the representation of a soul. So the robots have souls, and then the androids have souls, or what is approximating a soul. And so you're playing through as 2B, and as Nines, and you play through the exact same scenarios as 2B. Some people might say this is boring. I think it's brilliant, because you are now playing as a different character as the side character, and you see everything from a different perspective. Because he can hack into the robots, he can then see their thoughts and feelings, and you get a really engaging and deep storyline through there. And since Nier Automata, I said it was been a lot of my favorite things. And one of my favorite things is philosophy. Nier Automata, what it does, it takes philosophers and it plays on their philosophy in some way, shape, or form. Either it takes their philosophy to its logical conclusion, like it did with Karl Marx. Karl Marx was a robot, and in Marxism, I think it's called the proletariat, there are the workers, and their kind of whole purpose in society is to be workers. So in Nier Automata, it explores what happens if you're in the proletariat as a worker and you lose your ability to work. And so this robot was designed to do one thing, and then the robot got crippled, and it's just sitting there. The robot is named Marx, so it's obviously a play on Karl Marx's ideology. You know, it's just laying there crippled, and you do a whole little side quest that explores the philosophy of Karl Marx and what happens. Like, it's kind of like the pitfalls of that type of philosophy. And it does the same thing for Beauvoir. What is her name? Simone de Beauvoir. She was one of the true founders of feminism, and she coined the phrase the male gaze. So whenever you hear the male gaze, you know that's coming from her work. She said women only exist because of the male gaze. Without the male observation, the female cannot exist. And then without the male gaze, she was saying the genders are essentially equal. Not from a physiological standpoint, but from a mental standpoint. And then in the game, it decides, well, what if the woman can't get the male gaze? What would that do to the woman? If a woman only exists because of the male gaze, and you remove the male gaze from the equation, what would that do to the woman's existence? So this robot character, stop with the divines, man. I got enough. I don't know what to do with them. So this robot is trying to become super beautiful to appeal to another philosopher called Jean-Paul Sartre, who was in the same time as Simone de Beauvoir, and he was one of the original simps, little short king, trying to get with Simone de Beauvoir, who wanted nothing to do with them throughout their entire life. So this reversed that scenario where Simone de Beauvoir was trying to get the other male robot, who was representing as Jean-Paul Sartre, to notice her. And to do that, she was trying to become more beautiful. So she was reading ancient human texts on how to do beauty, and they came up with a bunch of shit, and she got her wires crossed because she doesn't understand humanity. So she thought the way to become beautiful was to kill people and put their bodies on her to extend her, to make her more beautiful. And she got that from, like, the concept of makeup or some shit. And so that's why you fight her as a boss. But the entire time, Jean-Paul Sartre just ignored her, and it drove her crazy. In a very sad moment, if you allow yourself to feel for a dying robot, it goes through the whole scene, how she's like, why won't he look at me? Why won't he look at me? And essentially, she doesn't exist without the ability to gain the gaze of the males. Without the male gaze, she goes crazy, without the ability to obtain it. So that's another way it plays on philosophy, and it does this throughout the whole thing. Obviously, Nietzsche's in there and all kinds of shit. And the game is super, super deep. And the entire point of the game starts out, it says, I wonder if I'll ever get to kill the cruel gods who created this world, or something like that. I can't remember the exact quote. It's been 5 years since I played it. And at the very end of the game, you fight the end credits, which is the cruel people who created the game, which is pretty brilliant. But it goes even farther to expand the point of the game in the fact that at the very end of the game, it asks you, you fight this little mini battle, and the credits come down, you're shooting the credits. It's a shooter type game, like I forget the name, Space Invaders or some shit. And then it gets to a point where it's too difficult to beat, and it says, would you like help from some strangers? And some strangers, and it says the name of other players, join your world as ships, and they surround you, and they protect you, and they add you with fire. But when they get hit, it says their data has been deleted. And then once you finally beat this thing, it says, would you like to delete all of your saved data in order to help another person who is struggling to complete this game? So you realize while you were playing the game that every time you got hit, you deleted another character's saved data. And then in order for other people to help you, they had to delete their save. And that's what the game does if you select yes. So the moral, the entire principle of the game is kind of like, what does it mean to be human? And through the game, you're supposed to learn what it means to be human as you play the game. And if you played the game properly and you learned your lesson, you say, yes, I will like to sacrifice my save file to help another stranger complete Nier Automata. Because the purpose of being human is empathy. We're the only creature that has true empathy. Elephants have a little bit, and so do dolphins, but fuck that shit. Humans, what it means to be human is to empathize and to be able to see the world through other people's perspective. And this whole game is designed as a lesson, a philosophical lesson to teach you that. And when you say, yes, I will help a random person in this world and delete my data, it goes through your save file, it opens up your character, it deletes all of your items, all of your progress, all of your quests. It just slowly deletes everything, then it deletes your save file, and it thanks you for playing the game. Now, I talked quite a while about that game. Obviously, I am a huge fan. And the reason I'm bringing that up is it looks like Stellar Blade is nothing more than a hot chick in a video game that making a bunch of simps wieners hard, which I don't like. Nier Automata, to be being hot, played so well into it because it let the foolish people who judge games or judge things by their cover, it let those foolish people think that video games are some small petty thing and that just because a chick is attractive on a video game does not mean that the video game cannot have artistic merit or even literary merit. And really, it's kind of like the Sweeney chick of the gaming world. Big-titted Sweeney, I forget her name, Sydney Sweeney, big old breasticles, and she's not afraid to show them. She is also very smart. I think she was like valedictorian, and she knows what to say, she knows how to handle herself, and she knows like truths in the world. She's an intelligent girl. She knows that men like tits, so she shows her tits and plays it out. But she's a lot more than just a set of titties. And if you just judge her as a set of titties, you're not a very wise person. And I think that's what Stellar Blade is like. It's like a vapid hot chick who is what you think she is. And I judge games a lot before I can play them by the mechanics that I see in the game. For instance, Diablo 4, I knew it was going to be pretty bad because they developed a system that makes you slide or jump over a ledge by running to the ledge and just hitting the X button. And that is terrible game design. So whoever put that in the game is not a good game designer. So for instance, imagine if instead of hitting this dash button at anywhere I can go, it's just free floating, I can dash anywhere I want. Imagine if they restricted that to only this point, and then you stand on this point and it says press the X button, and you press the X button. There's no failure state. You can't not do it. You can't like with this, you have to get your mouse far enough. Like if I go too close to the edge, it won't bounce over it, but if my mouse is over it, so it requires a little tactical feel and it feels better to use. The other one, you just hit the X button, and it's dog shit game design. And when you have people that are not good at game design, they don't know what makes a game fun, they don't know what makes a game engaging, they're not going to have a good game. And what does Stellar Blade have in it? QTE, Quick Time Events. Press X here. Now that is terrible game design. The only games that should ever do that are rhythm games like Parappa the Rappa on the Dreamcast. Kick, punch. It's all in the mind. That game is excellent, and that is the only type of game that should have a quick time event. My favorite, I think it's Hard Rain or Heavy Rain, or Alan Wake. I can't remember which one of these boring ass games it was. It has a long quick trip. That's the delicious gas station here. Long quick time event, and you don't have to succeed in it. You just let him fail over and over and over again, and he screams names, and it's just the most fucking hilarious thing ever. But I have never really played a game with quick time events, because if I see that in there, I know the people that design the game don't have good game design principles, and I usually avoid those like the plague. And Stellar Blade having quick time events was like, instead of making a really fun and engaging battle here, we're gonna make a spectacle. Now, spectacles are not always a bad thing, but a QTE is a boring spectacle. A cutscene that just shows it is a much better spectacle than a quick time event where you have to actually hold the controller and look like a monkey and press X when it tells you to press X without any other kind of input. Now, there are some elements of QTE in Sekiro, but it's completely different. Sekiro will do a loud noise and throw a little red danger sign to let you know there's an attack coming. It's up to you how to handle that attack. That is quite a bit different and much nicer of a mechanic. I could be wrong. I don't know anything about StellarBlade's story. I'm basing this purely on the fact that I saw quick time events. Damn, look how thick and chunky these guys are. They're wisped out. They're mavened out, getting all kinds of buff. They are the cream of the crop of chonk. Yeah, so StellarBlade seems to be vapid, hollow, and shamelessly using women's beauty to sell games, which is not exactly a bad thing. I have nothing really wrong with it, but it keeps getting comparisons to Nier Automata. We're even comparing that shit-ass soundtrack that it has to Nier Automata. Nier Automata soundtrack was fucking dynamic and fantastic. No, Nier Automata, it is not. The only similarities to Nier Automata are the juicy booties that the ladies have. And I get a little bit flustered, I get a little bit triggered when people are making that comparison, because it says to me either they played Nier Automata and were too infantile in their mental state to understand what the game was trying to tell them, or they didn't play the game and they're just spouting out nonsense. Oh yeah, it's a lot like Nier Automata. No, Nier Automata was not about combat. It was not. The combat was fluid and it was serviceable. Nier Automata was a continuation of the regular Nier series, which had some of the worst combat that has ever existed in gaming, but those games were also pretty excellent because of the storyline, the world building. Anyways, yeah, it's pretty silly. It's pretty fucking silly. I would love to be proven wrong, and you know, it's only a demo out, so we don't have too much of the story. If the story is excellent, this will age like fine wine. But even if the story is excellent, I probably won't be playing that game because it has QuickTime events in it. I don't know how prevalent the QuickTime events are. It might not be that, but I don't like to support games that do things that I don't like the games doing. Didn't buy Final Fantasy 16 because it's leaning more towards action, and I don't want my Final Fantasies to be action games. And the action's not that good. My action games are Dark Souls, or like Street Fighter, with real good combat. But the combat in Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy 16 was trash. Dog doo-doo. Another thing that's great about Nier Automata is the congruency of the world. Everything in the world makes perfect sense. Maybe not perfect sense, but like, you live on a base in outer space and you get to Earth by transporting your consciousness into another android body. And you have these little floating machines that can change your outfit and some of your appearances. So you can teleport from place to place. Other games with fast travel, okay, well how the fuck is this fast travel work? Some of them will make it so when you fast travel it consumes time, but for the most part you're just instantly teleporting and it's world building. But Nier Automata is one of the only games that has fast travel that is fully congruent with the entire world of the game, because they just teleport their consciousness, and that plays into death as well. So in Dark Souls, when you die, you leave your body and you retain your souls. That's fantasy, right? It works in Dark Souls because you're not really a human. They make that clear in Dark Souls. You're something other than a human. And so for all we know, that is what happens when they die. But Nier Automata, you could run up to your own dead android body that has your old consciousness in it, and any of the items you may have had, or you get items that were on your person, on your body, and it's completely congruent with the game, and it's fantastic. I love it. One bad part about thorough exploration and this is delirium. It kind of makes me feel like I'm missing enemies behind because you got all these little white things. So I have to clear the map out pretty significantly. I don't think I like greater multiple projectiles. I think I like the extra damage. Made it a little faster, I feel like. I have plenty of projectiles without it. That was a long stretch of nobody. Nobody but you. Old school fucking K-pop song. I haven't heard that shit in a while. That's how I got introduced to K-pop. It was from dancing robots playing some dumbass fucking song I ain't never heard before. I was like, what fucking song was that? And I googled it. A South Korean song from like, I don't know when that came out. It was one of the first of that like pop style. They are essenced out. They are pissed. But look at my fucking tankiness. Look at my defenses. I'm just taking it. Oh man, that cold res is dangerous. I gotta address that cold res. Oh damn. What happened to my endurance charges? Oh, my war cry isn't going off when I'm in the menu. It doesn't look like. I was sitting there bragging about my tankiness and I lost my endurance charges. I don't need to run that map. That's a long map. I'm not running through that. Well, the downsides of being live. Fuck it, I'll do it live. Alright, let us do... First, let's get greater multiple projectiles. Let's put that back in there. And let's give me back my hypothermia. Green. Hypocorrupto. Let's get level 21 though. I fought the bull. Let's fight the phoenix. That should be fun. Company guy, map boss. Let's pump you up. I don't know if that does anything. Anytime there was something I like, I just throw a thing on it. I don't have enough time to learn these mechanics. I typically do it like at the very end of the league. I'll watch a video that explains everything, so that way I don't have to do the work. If I didn't have a full-time job and I could play this for like an 18 hours a day, life would be pretty nice, but then I would definitely invest my time into, you know, all the crafting mechanics and how to get the item. But for me, it's just more fun to get the currency through playing the game to buy the items than it is to craft the items myself. More expensive, but what'd you rather do? Fucking play Farmville? Or would you rather actually play the goddamn game? I'd rather play the damn game, get my currency, and let other people or bots play Farmville. Cooking. Just cooking. I put this on T as well. I've been trying, my hand's been hurting. I'm old. So I've been trying to use the keyboard a little bit more for my primary skill. Save on some hand stress on my right hand. Because, you know, constantly doing attack move. It's exhausting after a while. I had to do a lot of clicking at work too. So I was fucking constantly clicking. And when I go shooting, so I get that trigger finger, all that combined, my hands are gonna fall off. That Herald of Ice is nice. Movement speed is a little faster than I can control, but it's at a good pace. It's at a really good pace. Is it worth the cost? Hell no. This is the most wasteful build, but this league has just shat out currency for me. Just non-stop stream of currency shat. Currency scat for it, pretty much. I didn't even realize it. I was just playing the game and mapping like for an entire week. Wake and baked, and then re-up and re-up. I was just playing the game, and then I look at my inventory. I had 90 fucking divines. I mean 90 divines. Well, I had a couple before, but you know, I made something like 90 divines in a goddamn day. Long day, like a 12-hour stint. But I don't think I've ever done that. I wasn't doing any map strategies. Most of it was coming from Abyss. I don't know why it was coming from Abyss. But whenever I would get, you know, a chance to drop divines in the map, which I got a lot of, and then I would get some Abyss, and just dropping divines. Those Abyss trails were just like divine. I was getting like 20 per map sometimes. So with all that currency, I saw those +1 to frenzy charges rings, and I was like, fuck it, there's 40 divines, I'll pick one up. I don't know what they're running now, but when I got one, it was 40. I just picked up 2 of them right away, so I was cruising. Then I played a little bit more, and I had more damage because I had the frenzy charges. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a Progenesis for 69 divine. Before you know it, I'm rocking a very, very expensive build. I'll tank it. Oh, you don't even fucking know. Oh. I tanked the hit, but then all the other shit. Alright, he is a bit of a dick. Let's play with Barrage on. I still don't know if I like that playstyle. Oh, I'm leveling it up still. Oh, nope. Not leveling up. Oh, that's the root right in the canyon. I kind of want to get rid of returning projectiles. I'll get rid of returning projectiles. Dude, just a freaking beast. No, returning projectiles looks cool. Oh, damn. Oh, dip. So now I undo the war cry. Oh, he ran to me. Undoing the war cry took me out of AFK mode. Missed with that war cry. And these guys wisp. Damn, that barrage is way more damage. These wisped up guardians are tough. You guys see that shit? That was so much life. I'm gonna fight one unwisped up. That was a fire guy. I'm gonna refight him. Oh no, I can't refight him because he needs to be Mavened. No, I'll fight him without Maven. Why not? Yeah, that's fine. It's a brutal map, but it's fine. I'm gonna run it with Barrage. Now, one of the reasons I don't typically like Barrage, and why I would want to get rid of returning projectiles, is you get more damage, which will give you bigger shocks, which will make the enemies take increased damage, and also give you bigger ignites, which doesn't mean shit. But it also gives you bigger freezes, which slows enemies down. And Barrage doesn't give you nearly as big of hits on it, because you're just attacking so fast. The barrage is fun. I like using barrage. It's like you just spray and pray down an alleyway. Like it's a fucking Tommy gun or some shit. For Genesis, for the win. It does make it harder to get a lot of enemies like this. Didn't even notice there was a boss there. He got neutered and pootered. Got neutered and pootered. Could be a weapon swap, I mean a gem swap chud. Let's get more spread on there, there we go. Yeah, I must have got the thing that lets me get all those extras. Reach up below. The door. Need more projectiles for these big breaches. I mean, not more projectiles, more penetration. I think the penetration is preventing a lot of the return projectiles too. I think that's how that works. Got that breach galore node. The barrage is kind of bad for mapping. We'll make up for it on the boss, but it would be better to let the gem swap. Really hate making builds that do gem swap shit. Big boy, I didn't get to. Oh, that's his fucking... I'm tired as shit. I thought this was the boss portal. Oh man, I was trying to go in there for so long. Oh man. Alright, I'm gonna have to wrap this up in a bit. Alright, let's fight this guy and show the difference when he's not whizzed up. That's a pretty big difference when he's not all whizzy-dizzy. Alright. Oh, I think we've seen enough. It works in the delve. It works everywhere. We have seen enough. Now, let's go to the pod. Let's pod it up. I know you guys want to see this pod. I know you want to see my pod. The song is obnoxious. Chill, bro. Chill. We'll turn you back down the hair. So I'm going to be talking through the pobbin. Path O building. Import. Start. There we go. Ensnaring arrow. Let's include that in the full DPS. Frenzy. Let's include that in the full DPS. Let's pretend that is leveled up. There we go. Assassin mark is enabled, right? Okay, yeah, that is enabled. Configuration. Nope. Items. Let's turn on the potions. Oh, yeah. Let us see here. Time stationary. Let's just throw that up there. We are holding still. We are holding down the fort. Speaking of which, let's make sure that is selected. Configuration. We are using power charges. We are using endurance charges. 0.5 milli. Let's throw on some frenzy. Hot diggity damn. 7.9. I don't think we have any chance to get onslaught. That would be some pretty good damage. There is frenzy of onslaught, but I need to find a way to put it on a timer. That bitch is firing a bunch, and every time it does, it uses all my frenzy charges, which is pretty important for my damage. So sure, they almost instantly get back up, but by the time they're back up, you know, you get hit again. I do have flask active. I am not chilled. I have chilled. I have ignited. I have shocked. Heartstopper, let's put that at average. Projectile distance, I am right in their face. Ensnaring stacks, let's just stack them up. Enemy is in fact blinded. They are burning. They are ignited. They are chilled. They are shocked at 10%. Sometimes it's more. It's never less because of the potion. Enemy is not crushed. That doesn't do jack. Enemy is not unnerved. Covered in frost would be nice. Intimidated would be great. But they're none of those things. So if I found a way to intimidate, that's a pretty good chunk. If I found a way to onslaught, that's a pretty good chunk. I think I prefer intimidate over onslaught. And let's turn it to the Guardian. 10 million DPS. Now I don't know how much of that 10 million is actually hitting, nor do I know if returning projectiles is doing anything. Is it counting in the damage range? So returning projectiles, let's just get rid of you. And let's just, I don't want to put Awaken Enhance on, let's just put Hypothermia in there. Oh yeah, I don't think it's not adding in that. So it's not counting the returning projectiles at all as being hits. Obviously I can't put a 2 on the frenzy, yeah, so I don't know how to, I don't know. It's more than 10 million DPS. And effective health pool 112,000. Look at this fizz hit. I can take a 61,000 fizz hit like it's no big thing. Double chicken wing. The chaos does need to get pumped. That is what I'm talking about with my items. These rings are pretty trash. Pretty bad. Alright, that is what is happening. So how much do I lose by taking this off? It goes effective health pool to 110. It's mostly the life that's giving me a bunch. Big ol' hits. That's a pretty big hit. But if I didn't do that, then I can swing into here. That helps with it a little bit. But that was something I wanted to do with that. Obviously I can get more damage right there, like a crazy man. I forgot what I wanted to do with it. We will just keep her like that for now. Alright, that's going to be the pub. I think I'm going to re-roll one of these rings. I think it's going to be this end one. Y'all could just leave. Y'all could just leave. I'm going to do some re-rolling here. Chaos. 20 chaos. 23 viz. You know, it's better than what I was using. That's better than what I was using. I need the res though. More than just chaos. Shit, come on, boys. We got 43,000 of this. Okay, I do need strength. We got strength. Tier 1 chaos, cold, viz. The strength isn't high enough. That wouldn't be big enough benefit. I mean, there's no reason. I got plenty of juice. I might as well at least look for a really good one. Damn, son. Why you gotta be so low, cold? Wait, do I have like a cold removal? Remove another random modifier from an info. Oh, I don't have any of that juice. I ain't got none of that juice. Come on, guys. Give me the goat. I'm the goat attempt. Alright, I'm just gonna get what works. I'm already tired of this. I fucking hate this shit. You don't work. You don't work. You don't work. You don't work. Fucking cast speed. Stop giving me no fucking cast speed. I don't need no damn cast speed. I need chaos, fire. I can throw life on there. That's not what I'm looking for. Recoup would be pretty nice, but I need the res. Just looking for like 30 res and about 80 of the other. You know, basically a perfect rolled ring. Is that too much to ask for? Suffix, 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 prefix, prefix, prefix. But some of those are damn fine. So let's see what happens when we cross the line. Let's try to hit that gain life per enemy killed on 1, 2, 3. Shit, what'd I hit? Oh, I hit that tier 1 life. I don't know if this is a good way to craft, but I need chaos, and this is giving me a guaranteed chaos. It's faster than, what are those fucking things called? What you get in the delve. I'm not getting there. God damn it. Fossils. It's better than fossil crafting. faster than fossil crafting. Give me a banger. Oh shit, we got a contender. Recoup. That's tier 1 recoup. That's tier 1 chaos. Tier 2 life. Let's hit it with, I'm gonna bring some of that shit with me. Let's see what we got. We got a couple of those. We got some of those. Some of that. We're looking to get rid of the gain 2 mana per enemy killed. Oh, damn, son. I'm gonna go again. Oh my god, did you see that hit? Did you see it? That's better than what I was using. I totally want to hit it again. And I could, let's see, the life, there's 4 that are really good, and there's 2 that are acceptably bad. I can't get that greedy. I need the amp, but I can get that elsewhere. I think this one's good enough. Where can I get my amp from? How much amp do I need? Got 93, and I need 114. Got those ant nodes. Fuck it. I want to get out of all this. Let's hit that ant. I'll just leave it like that. Those life nodes are good. And I can add another one of these. That doesn't do me no good. These don't add any extra damage. I already get plenty of accuracy. I could do 10% increased flash charges gained. Can start working into the flask. Those aren't really that needed either. Let's do a life. Why not? One life to live. Make me tankier. Alright. Where are my resistances looking like? Oh, they are looking pretty nicely split. Of course, without endurance charges, it looks like shit. Fire resistance is still too low. Is there anything I can do to mitigate? That's too much cold to switch. And I need that lightning. Nah, nothing I can do to mitigate. Let me do a quick review. That's needed. Yeah, if I could find a way to avoid ailments and spell suppress, I can get rid of these, but that strength is pretty needed and nice. This guy's not really needed. I could get some resistances from here and some int to free up another slot. But this 1% less damage taken per line, that's pretty divine. I like it a lot, so I think I'm gonna keep it. I think I am gonna keep it. That guy's pretty mandatory, and that guy's pretty mandatory. So, because my build is that unique with no resistances, that unique with no resistances, That unique with no resistances. This unique with no resistances. No resistances there. I mean, I could get rid of my life regeneration rate, but I feel that life regeneration rate helps my sustain enough that it makes it better than one of the resistances. Alright. That is the build. I like it. A lot of fun to play it. It's tanky. Does 10 million damage. The only downside is this bitch is going to be so expensive. I mean, I bet there's nothing even remotely close to this on the market. 80 divine. Oh dear God, I didn't even put the recoup on. Fucking nothing. Yeah, so that's like 100 divine. This one's like 90 divine. This is probably 10. I don't know what this guy's going for. Oh yeah, not updated. I don't know how to update that. I got him pretty cheap. I got him early. I knew it was going to be strong. And I know I wanted it for utility, so I got a 3 utility. I want to say it was like 2 divines when I picked this up. It was not that pricey, but it not being that pricey then does not mean it's not that pricey now. I don't know if anyone's made videos on it. If one of the popular streamers has made a video on it. This bad boy has gone up in price, and you know what I can do? I have this Windows button. I always got a trade window on. Had to buy all these tattoos. It was pretty annoying. Always got a trade window up. /GO. What the fuck? Oh, the Celestials, the gloves. This is Tides of Time. I want to buy those gloves, the Frenzy Charge. I mean, the Endurance Charge gloves. Oh yeah, let's. We're gonna have to find Utility Flask. Gain 1 charge. Let's hit that to 3. That's a pretty good belt. So, I mean, you don't need the defenses, which because of the way I've designed this build, I don't really need the defenses. Gives me increased flask effect, which is absolutely fantastic for this son of a bitch. When hit, during effect, 25% of life lost from damage taken occurs over 4 seconds instead. That is a 25% damage reduction. The reason it's a 25% damage reduction is let's take a look at my regeneration rate in the Blood Aqueduct. So let's just Blood Aqueduct to get my endurance charges up. Life regeneration 240. It's going up 900. 14. We are sitting at 1400 life regeneration, so I'll regen my entire life in 2 seconds. And when I war cry, that bad boy shoots up even more. Alright, we donezo here. I will check you guys later. Till next time.